No!
Guys, welcome back. Like we are here. It's been a long time since we've done this show. But the Commish Corner podcast is back. We had to get the OG members here for it. My name is Mo. I go by Mostradamus in the chat. I've been here since day one. Brian up here is actually the one that kind of got me involved in all this. So go ahead, Brian, introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
My name's Brian,
Thanks.
aka Frickin' Laser. So I was here at the beginning of SPA as well, one of the founding members. I just pretty much dropped out recently, but I still do. I've been doing graphics for the league for a long time. I still do graphics and stuff and participate in other ways.
Yep, I know everybody asked about Brian. They asked like, "Yo, where did he go? What's he doing? Is he still part of it?" Brian's still a part of the community. If you reach out to this dude, he will message you back right away. I believe he's worked with Sandman recently with some graphic stuff. He's recently worked with a couple other guys. So he's constantly available. All you gotta do is reach out. Brian hasn't gone anywhere. He's still a major part of what we do. He's still an overseer. And then up here, we've got the man Fit. Fit, you want to tell the people who you are?
I'm Fit. Yeah, my name's Fit. Chris. Um, I was not here when this started. I came on just after it started, like first season still, but um,
That still
I was
counts,
not a
bro.
part of. Well, it wasn't like I wasn't a part of like the like my sperm's not in the egg. You know what I mean? I adopted the baby. You know what I mean? I still
Yeah.
love it like it's my own. I didn't have to do any of the work conceiving it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I
when
was
we first started,
Dolphins
you were
on.
Miami, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you took on Miami. I mean, you can say you weren't here from the very get go, but I'm gonna count it from the very get go because I mean we're talking like 2 months, like the you might not have been here. So
I made
so
the
I'll
name.
count that. Now,
Yeah.
the reason that I bring that up and the reason that I even asked about that was we've kind of come a long way since when we first started because I can still remember the conversation that I had with Brian. And Brian was like, "Yo, are you gonna do this?" And I was like, "No." He's like, Well, why not? Why aren't you coming over to this new league that we're doing?" I was like, "Because I don't want to do that." And he was like, "Yo, it's got some good staff. I'm gonna join it. You should join it. Like, let's go." And I was like, "Yo, you're for real gonna join this? You're gonna join the staff? You're gonna do it all?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to. Like, it sounds dope." And I was like, "Yo, I'm all in." Like, and from there, we kind of grabbed on to 32 users really quick. We just kind of hit the dirt. And I mean, the goal from the very beginning was to create a tight knit community of sim gamers and kind of define what that word was because it's a word everybody uses and it doesn't really mean anything. But that was the ultimate goal. And I mean, since then, we've kind of like
Yeah.
Big time.
to 150 users. So when we first sat down and we first kind of talked about this, I want to kind of take you guys back and I want to get your opinions on what was the initial idea when you joined into MSPA at that time? Why did you do that?
Do you want to
Play
start?
some games. Yeah, play some games. That was it. I don't know. Initially, right at the beginning, it wasn't anything crazy. It was to just like get my feet wet in some Madden.
For me, it was getting in a great sim league or a potentially great sim league and get away from Tom's tyranny.
Yeah, it was
Showed us
Tom.
a lot of good shit.
Tom was Tom was a great mentor for me when it came to teaching me how to be sim. But I know a lot of people really struggled with how he kind of ran their teams and stuff. And that was the big comments that we had was we wanted a league where no one was in charge, and that's why when we voted for commissioner, I took the job. I was like, I'll do it, but I want all of you guys to have the power, and then you vote, and we'll use my vote as a tie-breaking vote. And now since then, we've kind of grown into this. How many commissioners do we even have now? Like nine over four leagues or whatever the case may be. Like you've got football, you've got baseball, you've got
Um,
basketball, you've got next gen, um, and so it just kind of took on a world of its own. And it was like it quickly. Like we're not talking like SPA like has been these two or plus leagues for like 4 years now. Like SPA was only one league till like late last year in the Madden League. Like we were just one, and then like since then, we've really like just grown like crazy. And I think right now it's my time that I'm sitting back and going like, okay, now this is what we are. Like, we have all of these people, but I don't want to lose what we all started this for. Like, so when we've started doing the podcast, I know the big thing for me was I like doing the podcast because I feel like it all kind of brought us together. It brought voices to the community, gave people their own voices. So I think that was the big thing for me wanting to bring the show back, was to get some of those guys in here and kind of bring in a bigger group to this family of SPA that we have. But that was something that I desperately missed, and to not have that around, I think we kind of lost a little bit. But I'm not going to lie to you. If somebody would have told me, and I said this to 40 Low on a podcast the other day, if somebody would have told me 5 years ago or 6 years ago when we created this, like, hey, Mo, are you signing up to help run 4 different leagues and do all these different things? I'd be like, you're fucking crazy. Like, I'm not doing, like, any of that. Like, I don't even want 2 leagues. Did you guys see any of this when we first started?
No. It just all grew organically.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until it started kicking off and we kind of got to see what was going on and what we had kind of started that we, like, wait, we can bring this. We had attempted PUBG at one point, that didn't really work, but we started bringing in other games, 2K, it just kind of like, due to interest, all these leagues started popping up out of just the community wanting these things to happen.
Do you guys know that I get DM'd pretty frequently about people wanting to do like a UFC league or a WWE thing or just any kind of like these different games now? Like, I feel like these different people are now kind of like latching on. They're like, hey, we want to do this. What are your guys' thoughts in continuing to grow this?
If the interest is there, do it. You know, if the people are gonna give the people what they want. You know, if they want it, give it to them.
Yep, agreed. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have Trey in here. Trey Black, he's been one of the members for a very long time. We're going to talk to him about some of his success. We're going to talk to him about how he feels when he doesn't have some of that success. Guys, we will see you after this commercial break. Guys, welcome back. Trey, welcome to the show, man. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yo, this is kind of, we've had you on the show a bunch before. This is a little bit different, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yo, we've kind of like stepped it up.
Absolutely.
Yo, when we first started this conversation today, though, that's kind of what we were talking about, was just how far SPA has grown over the last few years, how quickly it's grown. Why did you initially join SPA?
That's a good question, man. Dang. I would say the reason I joined SPA initially was just the structure and the structure of the rule set and the reps and how everything was set up in a way to, I don't know, kind of push like a sim gameplay.
Did you?
Brotherhood in a way.
It definitely was a brotherhood. It for sure was that, and I feel like that was something we kind of got away from, which is one of the reasons that we're even doing the shows like this today. When you initially joined, did you have any idea that we would grow to what we've kind of become?
Not at all. I mean, we were one league, and I was like, it was just crazy to me how much was even being put into the one league. I didn't even think about making multiple leagues and branching out to different games.
No, I didn't see it initially either. I have a question for you because this is something that we've talked about before, and it's kind of a controversial topic. And I know the new people will hear this, and they're going to be like, well, what the hell? Do you think SPA was better before we had more than 2 leagues?
I wouldn't say that.
What would
I
you?
wouldn't say it was better.
Well, how would you describe it for the people that weren't here before?
Uh, I don't know. It was more. It was like kind of when you like have a city. I'm just on the phone real quick. Like when you're in the city compared to like a small village. You know what I mean? You just have like more of a like connect with everybody because there's only one league. It's only 32 people. Everybody's gonna have to communicate in some form or fashion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like less outside stuff going on. It's more I don't know, personalized or like not personalized, but can't think of the word.
It was definitely a lot more. The word that I would use would be you used brotherhood earlier. I think that would be the one that I would use. Like when it came to the people that I gamed with, I felt like those people like were family to me. And even with the Pandoras and even with the dynasties, with the diamonds, with infinities, like there's still new guys coming in, but we still have to build that kind of up, which leads me to my next question for you, and is do you think it's possible to still have that family type atmosphere, that brotherhood that we had, even with the growth that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think it's possible. It's definitely possible. It just takes a little bit of work from everybody. Like even from the new guys or like older guys reaching out or whatever the case may be, just like building up those relationships throughout the games you play together. Like if there's new guys that step into Infinity, there's gonna be guys that we have as veterans, like you just build those relationships. I feel like I don't know, maybe in the past, maybe in Pandora's case, that wasn't happening as much. I don't know. I can't really speak on everybody's case, but
Mm-hmm.
that's something that could definitely be improved upon in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I think. I don't. This has never been a show where we kind of avoid topics. We're going to talk about Pandora. We're going to talk about why it failed. We're going to talk about why it was successful. We've got some guys coming up in a little bit that have been a part of that as well. Why do you think that Pandora wasn't as successful as what it probably should have been?
Man, I don't know. I think it was just a mixture of things, honestly. I mean, even if you think about how it was created and the reasons it was created, who was behind the creation, and then how things shifted over to new leaders, and just you have a lot of new members. It's just, and then they're not really accustomed to the rule set, and so you have a lot more games where there's rules being broken or little things that you have to, have talks about and this and that, and you don't really see that as much, I think, in Legacy. So like people that were playing in both leagues, they might have viewed it as like, oh, this is like the B league or the lower tier league because they're seeing more of the stuff you don't want to see.
Right. No, I
Uh,
agree with you. Um,
I,
I go ahead.
yeah, I would say, that it's something Mo talked about before is like a whole bunch of guys staying in Legacy and not giving up their favorite teams and switching over. I think if some of us would have switched over to our favorite teams in Pandora, it might have changed. Might have been something some of us could have done to kind of change that. But that is what it is, I guess.
Good point.
Yeah, no, it was something that I brought up when we started talking about what we were going to do for Infinity, because Infinity is going to go next gen. Um, and again, that it's going to be something we talk about later. But one of my big things with Pandora was just just from looking at myself was I didn't leave my team to go over there. I didn't even go grab a team. I didn't grab a team B. And so I don't necessarily know how I can look at people and be like, this is not a B league when they're looking at me going like, but where are all of you? Like none of you
Right.
dropped your team to come over here and do this with us. You all stayed over there. Why'd you stay there and not come over here? And you're right, I didn't. So for me, just personally, my legacy team, legacy is likely to move up. We've got 40 something people ready right now. We have 4 months until the next game comes out, so it's likely that we're going to have 2 leagues ready to go. But my spot in legacy will be given up. I told Grimy he could have it. I know that he's leaving right now. I'm not sure if he wants to come back to that. But my spot in Legacy will go, and I'm going to go over to Infinity, and I'm going to take a brand new group, and I'm going to go with new rivalries, and I'm just going to dive right in, and that'll be the thing that I do, and I trust myself to kind of stay on it all year. So I'm going to put my best foot forward, and I shouldn't hear any of those comments back from people being like, well, Well, the who joined over here? Well, the OG commissioner from MSPA joined over here, and he got his spot where he's not going to get to play with any of his friends anymore, and he did that too. So I don't want anybody to complain. I'm willing to do the job. Let's get over there and do it. Trey, I want to talk to you a little bit about you this year because there's been something that's happened specifically this season that hasn't happened a whole lot, and you've actually lost quite a few games this year based on your record typically. What happened this year?
I did take 4 L's, and I did take two to the eventual division leader. But it's not the first time. I'll tell you that right now that I've taken 4 L's. It is
Yeah.
not the first.
It is not the first, but I can't remember the last time you did not win your division. So shout out to Chris up there, man. That is the toughest division in all of SPA in any league that we have, in my opinion. So whoever wins that one worked their ass off. So shout out to you, Trey. I want to talk to you because you are an incredible player. Like when it comes to the on the sticks, in my opinion, you are probably the best guy that we have in any of our leagues with some of all of our games. I mean, you're champion in NBA 2K. You're a champion in Madden. I don't know if you're gonna play MLB, but I'm sure if you do, you'll probably go win a championship over there. But
I,
you are not
I
perfect.
wouldn't go that far.
This is where
Yeah,
I
so
want to talk about where Trey, and we've had this conversation, where you feel like you can continue to grow, and that is when you lose games. How do you feel when you start to lose?
it's just the competitive nature, man. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It comes down to a lot of people if they've been there, if they've competed in anything, and they have that blood flowing and that adrenaline rush, and just the competition atmosphere. And I know not everybody gets to that point, and even at video games, but me being who I am and how I grew up, basically, I've been playing video games since I was like 6, 7 years old. Like this is me. Like this is how I've grown up. So my competition in sports and everything else just kind of trickles into gaming. And I've got stories of getting pissed off at the TV even when I was a little teenager. I mean, it was probably worse, bro. So it's all
So
about growing and getting better, man. I mean, it is what it is.
it is what it is. When people tune into your streams and they go back and watch some of your games, they're like, "Yo, I played Trey," and they go back and they hear like, "Yo, he got really pissed off." This is your time to kind of speak out to those people and let them know who Trey is and how his emotions can fly when he's winning or losing, and just kind of give them a little insight on who you are.
Yeah. No, it's definitely just a competition, man. After the game, I mean, I know for a fact I do a good job at least saying good game, reaching out to people, talking to them, or even expressing things that might have happened in the game. But shit that happens in the game, I mean, it's in the competition, honestly. And like little things can rub me the wrong way, and shit flies off the handle. But when it's all said and done, man, we come back. I mean, we play more games. It's a rivalry. You just grow from it. You know, if you take a loss, man, you should look in the mirror, see what you could do better. Even this year in Madden, which I feel like it's been one of the worst in terms of taking away like user skill in games. I feel like this was one of the pinnacles of that of all matters. I feel like that's just me personally, based on the abilities and stuff like that. So it's been stressful, and you can blame other things, but when it's all said and done, just focus on what you can control and get better at that.
Before we before we get you out of here, one of the things that you brought up to me in a DM the other day was you like open conversations. You like to be able to get some things off of your chest. You like to be able to have that openness, right? And one of the things that I want to do with this show is get our community back to feeling like, yo, we can pretty much talk about anything and it's not that big a deal. And I'm not really sure where we kind of lost at it at a stage, and I'm not sure if we lost that, but I want to make sure that that's clear that we can do that. So this is your time now. You have me, Fit. We're part of the commish team. You got Brian here who's going to give you his point of view. This is your time to kind of get some stuff off your chest and tell us some things that you would like to change. Ask any questions that you got, and I'll do my best to be as open and honest about whatever you got.
Man, I don't know. I don't really have much, I would say. Um, I know there's been like maybe some questions or concerns about the growth and like how the next two leagues are gonna shape out. But I know whatever it comes down to, but the duties will get split between the commissioners, and I don't know. I think we'll just find a way, honestly. Just get guys in there that are committed and want to do the job.
Yeah, and
But
before
I think we're gonna be all right.
before we get you out, I want to give you a huge shout out because you just recently joined the Legacy rep team. So hey, you don't see change unless somebody steps up to do it. So shout out to you, big dog.
Absolutely
No,
appreciate
shout
that.
out to the league. Really, honestly, that's going to be such a major asset for the league moving forward. Having you in that room and having your voice, having you being able to share your thoughts and your beliefs on some things that go on in the league, I think it's going to be great. I am personally happy to have you back in that room for sure.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Glad to be back, man.
Yep. Brian, is there anything that you wanted to impart wisdom upon our friend Trey over here before he takes off? Because I mean, dude, you have the clearest mind out of all of us. You've had a break from this trash game for a while.
Trey was one of the better reps when he was there, so it's really good to have him back there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have him there. Trey, thank you for making this a part of your night, man. Thank you for your time. Guys, we're going to get to our second commercial. We will see you after this break. Guys, welcome back. All right. Big shout out to Trey for kind of doing his thing. The show's just kind of like going, this is a lot of fun. As we move into our next segment, I want to give a huge shout out to Potato and to Zach for kind of joining us. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty
How's it going,
good.
guys?
Bro, Spud, you got your own show. Is this a little bit different than the one you guys usually do?
A bit. I mean, ours is more just kind of that mess around, have fun with it, just kind of give those updates to the league. But it's also three young, 21-year-old young guys just kind of having fun and messing around.
Which is exactly what we like to see. I really enjoy watching what you guys do. I would prefer less mocha in the future, more everyone else. But hey, you beggars can't be choosers. You guys do a great job. So shout out to everything you guys do over there. Anybody watching this, as soon as you leave here, jump over to their stuff because they are rocking it over there. The Jam Podcast, killing it.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, getting into your guys. You guys are friends. You've been in leagues together for like the last year. You're now over here in SPA. Why are you guys now here? I know, Drew, you came first. Why did you invite your boy, Zach?
Well, I joined SPA because I was looking for that kind of more realistic league when it came to Madden. Just because, I mean, I was in some lobby ball leagues for sure, and they kind of ran their course a bit. And I knew Zach kind of enjoyed playing Madden leagues, and he was also looking for something different than what we were both playing. And so I sent him that invite, and it's looked like it's worked well for him because he's still here to stay, it seems like.
Yeah, Zach, I thank you for being here. Can you kind of tell the people who you are, Zach, and let them know?
100%, yeah. So I met Marcus obviously a while ago, kind of right around when the whole COVID situation started. It was actually my first time really getting into a gaming community of any kind. So kind of he was my first real connection through the GOAT franchise. I'm sure you've heard of it. Switched me over to SPA after I tried a bunch of different leagues, and I just found obviously as we know the gaming community has a ton of spammers and people who are exploiting the terrible parts of the game that are unenjoyable for all of us. Kind of told me about this league, SPA, and the way you guys handle things and kind of the culture that you guys have developed there. So I was excited to at least get the opportunity. Got a little bit of an interview process and basically never looked back. I joined Pandora, really enjoyed my first season there, made a little bit of a playoff run. To be fair, a little bit of an incident occurred with Chef over that playoff run, but I think we've moved on from that now finally. So,
Wait, hey, what was that?
Sorry, that was me being uninformed and doing a blitz with my cornerback in a playoff game, basically sealing it. So I felt terrible, but sorry to Chef if you're listening right now, but. Think we've moved on from that, enjoying that, really liking the 2K League as well. Things are a little bit slow in there right now, but making a playoff run there hopefully right now too.
Okay.
Before we go too much further, I know both of you are part of Pandora. I know both of you signed on to kind of do this thing from my side. As the commissioner here, I want to apologize to both of you that Pandora is not going to go more than 4 seasons. I know that was the goal. There were some things that we didn't intend for, like the game going into next gen and people just not wanting to be a part of current gen as much anymore. And I'm not going to lie to you. If I wanted to, I could go hit up a bunch of different people and we could go get Pandora full and we could keep it going and you guys could go 6 years. But my vote came down to, is it worth bringing people in that just kind of don't fit what we do? So from my perspective, I want to apologize to both of you for Pandora shutting down after this year. I know you've invested a lot of time into that.
I don't think you. Oh, sorry, go Zach.
I was just gonna say, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just happy to look forward to what's possibly coming next. I know you guys are always working on kind of what's coming next and the new thing. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, Pandora didn't work out, but I'm excited for the new opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing. Kind of like, there's a lot of movement going on, especially with the next gen kind of being around, and I think a lot of people are starting to make that transition. We kind of talked about it too on Jam, and we said like, yes, it is of course disappointing, and we hoped that we could see the full series, but it does make sense that we kind of move on from there. And of course, we've gotten some new guys this season, and they've seemed to like kind of adapted to SPA, but we've also had some guys who joined who didn't completely adapt at all, and they just didn't change their game style. And I think kind of what you're mentioning, Mo, is like, is it worth it to bring guys in who are just kind of play lobby ball, not going to listen to the rules that we have set? And I think we've definitely found some of those good guys who have seen what we can do and kind of agree to make those transitions to what they're used to. But at the end of the day, I think Pandora did its job. It got some guys in. I definitely fell in love with Pandora, and I gave up my legacy team to kind of move over and try to help it. And I'm not upset about that decision. I tried my best. I made a Super Bowl run that didn't end well, but I've enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, no, you've given everything that you could to Pandora. More than I'll be honest, you gave more to Pandora than what I did when it came to the involvement you had with the league. I made sure that I was involved staff wise, but I just told Trey I don't think that was enough. I think that people in Pandora, when they looked at us, they told me, you can tell me till you're blue in the face that this isn't a B league, but none of your staff except Bobby went from the very beginning. And it just kind of is what it is. That just kind of like snowballed from there. So it never meant to be like that, but I do accept my part that I did not leave my team to kind of jump over there and do that, and that will be a decision that I move going forward. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. When you guys look at Pandora and you do say that some of the stuff was successful, what more, other than just getting more members and just having different people, what do you guys kind of look at that and say personally you grew from your experience over there?
I mean, for me, like, I first joined, and this was kind of like that first league for me where it was having these more set sim rules. And definitely when I went to Pandora, like, I was doing my thing in Legacy, but I was kind of still doing things that weren't SPA's way. And so when I made that move to Pandora and I started kind of playing more games in SPA, I kind of learned a little bit of how to transition your game to fit SPA style. And then, of course, being able to hop on the rep team and kind of trying to be that guy who is supposed to lead by example. And I'm still not perfect. I still have a lot of things to learn. Like, there are moments where I've caught myself running the same play in the first half, and I'll be like, okay, I need to work on that and fix that up still.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments where I catch myself accidentally running in my zone, and I would stop my guy and be like, okay, I can't do that because that's against the rules. So like, there are things I've learned personally myself to hold myself accountable to, but I've tried my best to, of course, adapt to these rules because this is definitely a league that I've seen more successful than most leagues, and it seems like because of how strict we are and how we're willing to not be kind of dictators, but being willing to like work with guys and kind of give them that like, hey, listen, we want to work with you, we want you to make that adaptation, but now it's on you to, of course, carry from there. We can only do so much. And I think I kind of learned that. Like, I took a couple spins and I kind of learned like, hey, it's just shit I gotta learn as I go.
Yep.
Yeah, and just to tail on that, like, it's I mean, very unique community, right? And we've got a very like unique gameplay, very different than what I've seen elsewhere. And I mean, personally, yeah, just joining in and seeing it. I mean, 32 other users are playing a completely different game. It almost feels like compared to when you go on an online versus in Madden when it's like guys are running the same plays or something. So yeah. I really fell in love with it. I mean, I really enjoyed the gameplay. The other nice thing is, we're not too fast-paced. A lot of these other leagues are like pushing advance and stuff. So I really enjoyed that about Pandora as well.
Getting into how we all started. I'm not gonna lie. When SPA first started, Brian was the first one to come talk to me and convince me to join. And then I went to Fit and I was like, "Yo, this is dope. You need to join on. You need to do this with us." And I know that a lot of the conversations the three of us had were, "How are we gonna grow this? How are we gonna continue to build?" We all became commissioners at one point. We all worked together. I'm gonna put you guys in a scenario, and I'd like to know what you would do. Let's say the two of you are like, "Yo, we can't do this anymore. These guys, they don't know how to run a league. Let's go do our own thing." How would the two of you take what you have here, the knowledge you have here? What direction would you go next?
Man, that's a pretty open-ended question. I'm gonna say, I mean, I admire kind of the versatility of SPA. That it's not just a league, but it's a community of leagues. And I think that that's something that has, I mean, obviously allowed you guys to grow exponentially. Multiple Madden leagues within one server and multiple, 2K leagues. I see you guys have had a PGA league. You guys are streaming fights from people within the league. I think that all of that stuff, not to mention your collaboration with um, broadcasters and people who are doing graphic art for you. I mean, that's all something that, I mean, definitely developed over a lot of time, as we can tell, but that I would say is necessary to grow a league to as big and as successful as SBA is.
Yeah, and obviously, like the one big thing about SPA is kind of that big community vibe, and then Zach kind of touched on just now. Like, this is more than just a group of guys coming to play games. This is a whole community of guys coming to support each other when it comes to a fight, celebrating each other when they buy a house. It's going and helping what's named Chef buy a new playground for his daughter when it got stolen. Like, this is a group of guys who are definitely working together and are just trying to enjoy something, especially in like the place we are now in this world with how crazy everything's been. Like, this has definitely been a way to kind of calm some nerves and definitely calm some people and bring them together and show like, hey, we're still here as a group of guys. And even Monty, even her being here, it's just like this is a big community. But one thing that I would like, just going off your question, if we were going to go do our own thing and build our own league, I think just preventing ourselves from spreading ourselves too thin, because you guys have definitely taken your time with it, building your leagues up, and that's one thing that, if, let's say me and Zach were ever do that, we'd have to follow that, because I feel like if we were like, hey, let's go start 2 Madden leagues and an NBA league and a baseball league as well, I feel like if we did that right off the bat, it would be tough for us. But seeing it, especially like when I joined and it was just originally Pandora and Legacy, and seeing the MLB leagues get started, the 2K league, as well as even the golf league. Even though I was trash at that game, just seeing it kind of start, it was cool to see how you guys didn't rush things and you took your time with it.
When we talked about rep jobs, or we talked about who's been doing a good job, you're somebody, Spud, that always kind of comes up because you do a good job with the things that you do. When you look back at that rep job, and I want, before you answer this, I want you both to know you've both done a great job giving me some great answers. When you came in, you're like, well, this is like a more of an adult thing. We do our own kids thing. I want you to understand that I need you to be real. I want you to be open, honest. If you got to throw somebody under the bus, throw them under the bus. I don't care. The show is all about really diving in and really getting to know people, right? So with that being said, Spud, what did you think of the rep job this year?
I enjoyed the rep job because it put some accountability on my end, and there was definitely a lot of accountability needed to, not just from me but from kind of everyone in the league. And I think it helped me realize a lot of my gameplay too was, in a sense, a bit cheesy, and I kind of noticed that because it, like I said, I came from some lobby ball leagues. But the one, like, my game style is I'm a very quick passer. I like those quick reads, and then using those quick stuff to develop like the longer reads over the game. And I kind of realized, hey, I am doing a lot of quick passes here. I am kind of being called out by different people, and so that helped me realize like how my gameplay shifted. But I also realized that there are some people as well who I would notice things, I would suggest something, and just kind of see how they wouldn't take what I said, and they would do their thing from there. And so you kind of you do realize there are people who listen to you, there are people who will listen, but they won't make the shift right away. I'm like that guy too, where I've got a lot of recommendations about my game. I didn't listen to half of them, but others I kind of realized I need to. So I think it's just when we are reps and commissioners, it is on us to kind of definitely step up and do kind of listen. And I think we need to realize too that in the end this is also just a Madden game, you know, and there's definitely a lot of hostility that comes from certain people. I've seen people call others bitch in general chat and get kicked, and you can tell like, hey, this is not the hostility we want. We got to remember that this is just a community of guys really trying to just enjoy something. And yes, if you have a disagreement, definitely take that shit to the DMs. No need to make it public because it's not doing you justice. It's not doing anybody else justice. You're just going to start more issues, and I think we all need to learn from that a little bit.
Would you
Bobby Wasabi.
Would you recommend the rep job to Zach?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think we all saw, if none of you guys saw, like, I definitely was watching that game in the playoffs, and he blatantly did something that was against the rules and immediately started holding himself accountable. Even DM Chef and said, listen, I'll give you a score back if you want. We can fix this. Immediately went to Mo and said, listen, I fucked up and I'm ready to take any punishment.
It's true.
And seeing him just step right up to that and be like, hey, I am going to hold myself accountable to this, and to not be like, well, fuck it. You know, if he couldn't stop that, why would he? He just stepped up right away and said, listen, man, I'm sorry. And I know Chef talked to him and kind of gave him some pointers too, and he took what Chef said and kind of changed his style. But like, even before that, I played him this season, saw no issue with his game style either. Like, I was his rep, and he would always be like, hey, can you watch my game just to make sure I'm doing good? So like, he was definitely that guy who wanted to learn if he was doing anything wrong to make those transitions. And so 100% if a rep shop opened, I think he's the guy for it.
Is that something you would ever be interested in, Zach?
You know, that would be something I would consider. Just given my current circumstances, it's kind of up in the air. Probably would have to kind of listen and learn a little bit more without further entail and the time commitments associated with it. But I mean, if you guys think I'll be a fit for a job, I'd be delighted to at least try it out.
Fit, Brian, we've been here for a long time. I mean, this is your sixth force in these leagues. I mean, these guys just came in, like they were talking about, they've been here for Pandora. Zach's been here just for a couple months. As people that have been doing this for as long as what you guys have been doing this, what advice would you give to the two of them as they continue in this online Madden community or online gaming community?
Go ahead, Brian. You can take it first. You're muted.
You're muted, buddy.
Oh yeah, my daughter was making a bunch of noise. Know the rules, you know, follow the rules, keep learning and growing. You know, be civil with people when people give you, you know, advice. You know, take it into account, take it into consideration. Point out stuff that other people were doing wrong and try to help them with it. You know.
Yeah.
Be a leader when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys are saying the right stuff too. You know, seeking other people. You know, reaching out to a rep, reaching out to somebody. Hey, check out my game, or you do something within the game. You know, might be suspect, like you guys have done, and you know, just continue to do is hit up the right people and let them know, like, hey, you need to check this out. It was during this time of the game or whatever, and I don't know, and continue to be active. You guys have been great members of the community. I know, you know, not been here very long, but you guys have been active, and it's cool to see. Honestly, just keep doing what you're doing, and I think that's all we really need to see. You know, you guys have been fantastic members, in my opinion.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Thank you.
Okay, real quick before I let you guys get out of here, this is my last part, and this is actually the most fun part of it. And Spud might be a little mad at me, and I don't really care. He's been mad at me before. He's probably gonna get mad at me in the future. It is what it is. Who gives a shit? Okay, so I've had two people reach out to me about the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, and it just so happens to be the two of you. Both of you have reached out and asked me if you can take my team. And because I've known Spud longer, because he's been a rep, because he's been here, I'm not going to lie to you, Zach. I messaged him last night. I was like, if you want them, they're yours. You have seniority. But now we're sitting here, okay? And I would like to give you an opportunity to kind of earn those instead of Spud. Now, Spud, I also want to involve you in this as well, because it does kind of suck that you might potentially lose these guys. So think of the most embarrassing song you can think of, Spud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And if he sings that live here, he can take my Cardinals.
All right. You know what? I'm going to do it, but I need to look up the lyrics to it.
Let's just remember I'm in my parents' home right now.
Can you guys sing? What song would you guys like to sing?
Well,
Okay.
Are we singing it together?
Well, hold on. I have something I'd like to add.
Ooh.
Then maybe we can reverse this, and then whoever sings better gets the Cardinals.
Or we could let the people vote when this comes out.
Okay.
I like that. I like
I'm
that.
with it.
I'm with that too.
Okay, so what song are we gonna have them sing, boys?
Man,
You guys pick each other's songs.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh, I like this.
You pick your opponent's song.
Oh, I like this a lot.
All right. Give me 10, 15 seconds here.
Okay.
Like a virgin.
Yeah, I was thinking what was it, Barbie Girl or whatever?
That's good.
Barbie Girl.
Those are great songs.
All right, Zach. I want you to sing Taylor Swift "Love Story."
Oh.
Okay, can I look up the lyrics though?
Yeah.
Of course you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
You can even turn on the song and sing along with the song if you want, but I need to hear you louder than the song.
All right.
I want to make sure you have your pitch and everything, you know?
Oh, that's gonna be trash, but yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, I'm just gonna look it up on YouTube here.
Brian, do you have a coin?
Huh?
Do you have a coin?
Yeah.
Flip a coin. This goes first.
I can get one.
You got one, Landon?
You
Maybe.
can do it on your phone if you ask Siri.
Here, I got my
Okay.
YouTube
Alright.
going if you guys want, but
We need somebody to flip a coin.
I think Zach's already ready to go first.
Yep, let him go. He's the newer one.
okay, well, I got to think about a song for him though afterwards. So, you want me to just turn it on my laptop here and sing along?
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, hold on. Turn my volume.
Are we doing like a clip? Are we doing the entire song? 'Cause that's gonna be pretty
Let's
long.
let's do a 30-second snippet.
Yeah,
30 seconds. Okay, you're just gonna have to let me.
a minute. I want a minute.
Oh, this is You Belong With Me. What happened?
It would help if you probably pulled the one up with lyrics so it came along with it.
Oh yeah, I've got it. I just accidentally skipped it.
Karaoke version.
Okay, let me. Sorry, fellas. This is trying to find the
perfect,
perfect
man.
clip.
I need to clip this too and send it to our other league.
Yeah, this is gonna be brutal.
This is the kind of stuff we do for this podcast, boys.
I'm honestly just gonna give you 30 seconds from the start.
Go for it, bro.
All right. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to hear you.
Yeah.
On a balcony in summer rain. See the lights, party the ball dance, see you make your way through the crowd.
like
You guys are so good.
Little did I know that you were Romeo, you were
Yeah.
my daddy said, Juliet, and I was crying on the staircase, begging you please don't go. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone.
Oh, that's so good, bro.
Yeah, I might have.
I'll let you be done. That was so good. Congratulations to you.
He's going for it. He wants it.
Yeah!
Good shit, man.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
That was awesome. Yo, make him earn it, bro. Make him earn it. What song's he singing?
Man, you guys got any suggestions for me, or am I all on my own here?
I liked the Like a Virgin. I thought that's a great song.
Yeah, let's do it.
or baby one more time.
Hit Me Baby One More Time or Toxic.
Ooh.
That would be a good one.
What about something a little bit more emotional, like All Out of Love?
Yeah. What was the one that the dude that played Spider-Man did on the lip sync thing?
Oh, the umbrella one?
Yeah, that's another good one.
Let's go. I think I'm gonna go Like a Virgin, honestly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
You think-
okay.
Bud, you're up.
Yes, I am. I have the lyrics popped
so
up
glad
too.
that is over.
Yeah, you kind of killed it.
Did I? Honestly, I'm not a very good singer by any means.
No, but you killed it, and you definitely put a fucking high standard on it.
It was awesome, bro. I enjoyed it.
Thing is, I actually sang with my best voice just so you had to do the same. Like, there's no messing around here.
You're coming to
We're
karaoke.
here.
All right. Well, I don't have that great of a voice, but let's go for it anyways, because we want these cards. Made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. Didn't know how a star was until I found you. I was incomplete. I've been had. I was sad and blue.
Oh,
but
so
you
good.
made me feel. Yeah, you made me feel shiny and new. Like a virgin.
Yeah.
For the very first time. This one goes out to you, Mocha. Like a virgin.
Yeah.
When
That's
your
amazing.
heart beats next to mine.
Oh, this
Give
is
you
so
all my
good.
love. My fear is fading fast.
Oh boy.
I'm saving it all to you. It's only love can be.
So
Legacy
good.
Orange and SPA.
So good.
That's so tough to do, not knowing how the actual song goes. I just know the chorus, and that's it.
Yo, both of you, congratulations. Thank you guys for your time. Guys, we're going to put out a poll in news once this goes live. Whoever you think won the singing competition is going to get the Arizona Cardinals in Legacy for the remainder of Madden 21. Again, you guys, thank you, and we look forward to seeing what you're doing. Good luck with the Colorado Rockies, Spud and Zack. I'm really looking forward to see what you do with Sacramento, big dog.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Guys, we will see you. Let's get to commercial number 3. After this, we got Chef. Guys, welcome back. It has been a lot of fun. I mean, that's exactly what this show is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. You guys having a good time?
Yeah.
I'm glad we're doing this. This is exactly the kind of break that I think I needed with some of this. Chef, can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, I can.
Yo, how did you enjoy that last segment? Were you listening for that?
I was a little disappointed that they didn't sing Barbie Girl. So was my wife.
Well, we're gonna have you do that one. So congratulations.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
I'm a Barbie girl
In a Barbie world,
wrapped in plastic.
15 tokens.
it's
for
fantastic.
45 seconds.
All right, Chef, I love talking to you because you are very real. You let people know exactly what you think, and I know that you've really struggled with the Madden game this year. Can you kind of let us know your opinions right now on where you're at with Madden 21?
I definitely did not have a good time this cycle. I think the current gen had a lot of issues, but with this next gen, it's a lot better. There's less kind of Madden things I think that happen, and it feels more realistic. So I'm looking forward to the Infinity League more than, unfortunately, than what Legacy was. I love Legacy and what it is, but it's just the gameplay was just very hard this cycle.
Now, we've kind of talked about your plans already for what you want to do for Madden 22. You are going to jump over for Madden 21 and do some Infinity. You said you're looking forward to that. Do you want to let the people know what you got planned for Madden 22? Is it Legacy? Is it Infinity? Is it both? Are you going to rep? What are you going to do?
So I'm going to be in Infinity pretty much only because I don't really think I have the mental capacity to play in 2 leagues. And I think I'm going to be a rep for Infinity, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's something that I recommend you for. I know that I'm glad to kind of see you in that room. I'm glad to kind of get back to 8 rather than 4, especially with a lot of new people. I think your experiences, especially being frustrated, is a great spot for you to kind of jump into. And I think one of the things that Spud said a couple minutes ago was that as he became a rep, he understood that he had to just handle things differently. I think you were wired the same way. I think as soon as you walk into that role, it's something that you're going to kind of take by the horns and just kind of accomplish. So I'm excited to kind of see you do that role. Now, this year didn't go as well as we wanted to. So you walk in as a rep, first time ever doing the job. You're going to have 4 people kind of looking at what you're doing. How are you going to approach these guys?
I think with my experience from being in SPA, I mean, I haven't been here as long as, you know, a good amount of the people here, but I think my experience being here, being around most of the reps and most of the commissioners, kind of gives me a little, I would say like an edge to kind of talk to them. And being so emotional about Madden, I think I can relate to the emotional part of anything that really happens.
One of the things that you do better than anybody I know is the analytics side. Do you have any plans to continue doing that in the future?
Yeah, so that's kind of I'm trying to gear my projections and my analytics and kind of form more solid, concrete, and habitual analytics as opposed to just kind of random uh, reports here and there. I kind of want to build, more on what I've been doing because that's kind of what I want to do as a career. So definitely going to try to put put stuff out like every week. What I really want to do is I want to follow one team specifically and kind of give them analytics, give them who's performing well and matchups with their opponent, stuff like that.
Now, your advice is something that I go for all the time. And if we got you in this room, I wanted to make sure that it was worth something. So we're going to actually pretend for a minute that you're our boss, okay? You're the one in charge of the SPA community, and me and Fit, we work for you as the commissioners. And Brian quit a while back, but he's still here for purposes to kind of get his 2 cents in. How can we do a better job for your company next year?
That is a good question. Um, I haven't really thought about that because most of the things that happen in SBA, I think, are handled the right way. I don't think there's been one thing really that has really kind of rubbed me the wrong way or kind of was like, oh, that's kind of weird that they're doing it this way. I think you guys have the foundation down. There's probably some things that we could improve on, but I don't right now. I don't see much that could be improved from you, from Fit, from you know all these other guys that we have because we have pretty much everything. We have level-headed, we have kind of hard-headed, we kind of have every side of the coin. So I think that's important, and you guys kind of understand what it's like, especially dealing with Madden. So I think the common ground of us all hating Madden but loving the community is kind of a huge thing that not too many successful leagues have, in my opinion.
Now, you're kind of like the in between because Trey's been here from almost the very beginning. Then we had Spud and Zack here, and they're pretty new. But you're kind of like in the middle. You've been here for a longer than those guys, but you haven't been here as long as Trey. You have been here long enough though to know what SPA is all about. So I want you to take a couple minutes. I want you to look out to the congregation, out to all the people listening right now, the new guys, everybody there. Tell them how to take their next step into becoming part of the community. You can play games here, but that doesn't really mean a lot. How can you take that next step and really become a member of SPA?
So the biggest thing that I view SBA as is like a brotherhood, because when I had that whole uh, nonsense with my daughter's thing getting stolen, um, so many of you guys helped out, reached out, helped me in any way you could, and that kind of went a long way with not only me but with my wife as well. Um, so the biggest thing that I take away from SBA is it's not just games, it's not just we just kind of just guys hanging out. It's more than that, and I think after that whole thing, it kind of changed the way I saw it for sure. And I mean, even my wife said, I don't understand how you guys play this game. That's terrible. And you guys are weird. That's pretty much what she said. But after that, kind of, she was shocked that people I'd never met before like in person or willing to help and do all that. So that kind of hit hard with us, which is huge, and that's kind of the biggest thing that I take away. Other than that, just contributing when you see someone, like who's having, a hard time, or like, how I was, if you can reach out, help out. I mean, you don't have to give money or do anything like that. Just kind of the words and you know, all of that definitely goes a long way. And contributing to the community is big too. Anything you can do, I do analytics, and that's kind of what I do. We have other people that do graphics, which is awesome. We have, kind of, we have a lot of things. We have podcasts. So, I mean, going in that way is definitely big. But like I said, it's like a family. So you kind of gotta work your way into the family. And I think for the most part, we're pretty open armed, welcoming people. So big things.
I would agree. In fact, there's only been one other married couple that have been a part of the SPA community, and that is Moni and Trey. Now, I don't know if Fit or Brian even know this, but your wife was actually part of the SPA community.
Yeah, she played Among Us, and she got the iconic moment was we were playing Among Us, and we were playing with Bobby and his like what 8-year-old
Pay
son.
attention, boys.
So it's down to Bobby's son, my wife, and somebody else.
Me. It was me.
Man, yeah, it was you. She pretty much convinced and lied and conned her way to a 8-year-old, convincing him that Mo is the one who murdered the other person. I don't remember who it was. And it was very clear that we saw Cook, which is my wife's name in there, murder the person. And she convinced him.
She.
Lied. I got out of her ass.
She's a snake. She convinced a little boy with her sweet. Oh, but I would never do that. I would never that she didn't do it, and she did. She was the fucking killer. She totally killed everybody, and then she blamed it on me. I have no trust.
Anytime I'm playing Warzone with Bobby, and he hears my wife, he goes, "Oh, it's that bitch again."
Yeah. I would never say that. I would never call her that word. My wife would kill you if you ever called her that word.
Yeah.
But she is a lying snake, and I'll never believe her in any game that we play.
But your wife might actually be able to kill us. Actually.
Yeah, she's a gangster.
Yeah.
Chef, man, I really appreciate your time tonight, brother. Before we go, I could not let this go by without at least trying to figure out how come you and our boy Brian over here are not playing shooters together.
I mean, I pretty much play when I'm at work, and I don't have a mic, and I don't have sound, so it's kind of hard for me to. But I played Bobby for like maybe 30 minutes, and then we get frustrated because I can't tell him where anything is, and then he gets off, and then I'm kind of just sitting there.
Here's
But
what I
now
know.
that I'm not, sure.
I know that I like seeing Brian play video games, and I know that we need to get Brian hooked up so that he's streaming more often because I like watching Brian play video games. I got to get him some teammates.
Nobody plays PUBG in SPA though, man.
I do not play PUBG. I just never got behind it.
I'm going to have to go back to PUBG. I'm going to have to go back to PUBG. If that's the only game you're going to freaking play, I guess I'm going to have to go back to PUBG. Chris, you going back to PUBG?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege every day too.
Ooh, I played a lot of that. I played
He's
a
still
lot.
playing Command and Conquer over here.
See, there we go. There we go. He'll play. Look, that guy right there. He's good. Get him on your team on Rainbow Six. He'll kill everybody.
Kush plays Siege too. I don't know if he still plays, but
Kush is a monster at that game, but he plays on PC, and I don't have a PC, so I don't think we can play. I don't think we can cross-plat or anything.
Chef, man, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank your wife. I know that you guys were building some stuff. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to your daughter. Hope she enjoys the gift that you guys were able to get her for Christmas. Guys, that was the podcast for this week. This is going to be something we try to do every single week. It's a lot of fun. If you want to be involved, let us know. We don't have a set time. We're just going to kind of do it based on our schedules and see what we can do. But it's going to be a lot of honest fun. So, Fit, Brian, thank you guys for joining me for this hour, man.
Yep.
My pleasure.
We'll see you guys next week. We are out, SPA.